he's a great character, and he's, you know, he makes the game interesting, and you know, he's the way he is around the table, I think is good for the game. You know, it gets up a lot of people's noses, but you know, I don't mind it.
Stephen's done very well this season, you know, winning a few titles. But I fancy my chances tonight. I've been working very hard, and as I said before, my last match, I think that you know, if I'm to be rewarded for the hard work that I've been putting in, I think it's, you know, only a matter of time before I win another tournament.
Well, I hear it's going to be a war already here, yeah. So it'll be a good game.
Obviously, I'm very confident. He's in good form. I'm in good form, so it should be a cracker of a match.
Prophetic words. Good evening to you. Yes, it's Stephen Hendry against Peter Ebden tonight. A clash to savour with its clash of personalities and styles. One which would complete our semi-final lineup here at the Benson and Hedges Masters, and one which I promise you lived up to and indeed beyond our expectations. Tomorrow afternoon, John Higgins will play Jimmy White in the first best-of-11 frame semi-finals, and the winner of our match tonight will meet Ronnie O'Sullivan, who this afternoon put out Terry Griffiths by 5 frames to 2. But tonight it's Hendry against Ebden. Neither player quite at his best early on, but Hendry went into a 2-0 lead and then made it 3-1 with the help of a break of 112. But back came Ebden, a 67, made it 3-2. We're going to join it at the start of frame 6. Commentary comes from John Virgo and Clive Everton.
Well, that could have been a lot worse. I don't think Stephen Hendry can get to the red near the left corner. If he can't, that's worked out very nicely for Peter Ebden. He can get through to the other one, but it's a lot tougher shot. Oh, but what a great pot. What a potter he is.
One.
Plenty of distance involved. Cue ball not that far off the side cushion. Beautifully struck.
Would you be quiet up there, please?
John Street appealing for the best of order.
6.
And Stephen Hendry will be disappointed with the outcome of that last shot going into the bunch. He could have expected something a bit better than that.
It looks as though he's looking at the 2 reds into the right corner as a plant. After it, the first one very thin on the left-hand side. And he's on the black, I think.
7.
And now that Hendry has negotiated that difficulty.
Can somebody please sort out the problem up there? It's not been waved to me. I want to know what's going on.
Well,
14.
Well, there's something distracting happening anyway.
15. $22. 23. 30.
Black on spots, plenty of reds in the open,
31.
and early as it is, a frame-winning opportunity.
Yes, it was a decent break-off shot from
38.
Stephen Hendry. Peter Ebden tried to get the cue ball back to Bork. But the problem is the way he played it,
39.
he opened up the reds. It was a reasonable enough safety shot under most circumstances. But it looks to have cost him the frame after the excellent opening red by his opponent, who seems to do it so often. And once the reds are open like this, there's not a lot else you can do
46.
but sit and watch and admire.
$47. $52. 53.
So nice kiss on the red.
60. $61.
So the black and one more red would be sufficient. And well, as far as Peter Ebden is concerned, there wasn't
68.
much room for error when you're playing Stephen Hendry. There's none now.
69.
Certain to be one frame away from victory for Stephen.
$76. $77.
In the fourth frame this evening, we admired Hendry's clearance of 112, his 275th century in competition. He's top of the
84.
century breaks list, Steve Davis being next best with 238.
$85.
And on course here, of course, to pass the highest break, which at the moment belongs to Tony Drago with 132. And I know that Tony Drago's in the players' room. He'll be watching this.
90.
There's the break 90. Still a possible 51 points left, and that's 141 available. Blacks off these three reds. Played it well.
91.
Well, again, there was some distraction there.
98. $99. $106. $107.
£10,000 is the highest break prize.
116.
Tony Drago's 132 seems certain to be superseded now.
119. 123. 128. 134.
Disappointment for Drago.
100.
And a 141 total clearance for Hendry. His second century in 3 frames, the highest break of the tournament, and a 4-2 lead. 2 up with 3 to play.
In fact, the second highest break in the Masters' 21-year history. Stephen Hendry's 141 at the top of the list, and that puts him in line for that £10,000 high break prize. More importantly, it put him 4-2 up in tonight's match. But of course, Peter Ebden's fighting qualities have always been amongst his greatest strengths. A 46 helped him to take frame 7, a 67 gave him frame 8. So that made it 4-all, and amid great excitement, in we went to a 9th and deciding frame.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The final frame, Peter Ebden to break. Quiet, please.
Hendry played that in such a way as to take the cue ball back to Bork. If he missed the pot, he didn't expect the red to come down to Bork as well, though.
The pot. Maybe he thought he could have had a chance of being on the green. He's not.
One.
He's covered the one cushion angle into the cluster, so has made it a little bit more difficult for Stephen. So close to the green, Stephen's going to have to come off at least 2 cushions. And it was more difficult to judge.
Perfect.
Well, is Peter Ebden looking at a plant into this left corner? Well, you see, that's what he's looking at. Slight gap between the two could be made. Play it that confidently. He made certain the cue ball was back in the balk area, but there are reds that are potable.
One. 1, Stephen Hendry.
Very unexpected mistake.
Yes, overstretching though. Probably might have been better served getting the rest.
Hendry has won 24 of his 25 matches here at Wembley. A run encompassing 5 Masters titles and an appearance in last year's final, losing to Alan McManus. Full face of the pocket to go at, middle distance. Ebden will be disappointed to have missed that. But as calm as they appear,
Quiet, please.
the nerves seem to be jangling.
Yes, he'll be very disappointed he doesn't miss many of those. And a let-off for Peter Ebden. Nothing to go at pot-wise, but could play a good safety here. And psychologically, may just have the advantage.
I agree, John. Ebden has won the last 2 frames, so the momentum's with him. Good safety from Hendry, though.
Yes, he's certainly put a lot of pressure on this safety shot from Peter Ebden. He's got to hit this absolutely perfect. Otherwise that cue ball will not go back to the baulk end. And he didn't catch it right. It was a tough shot. First big chance to Stephen.
One. Seven. Eight. Fourteen. 15. 21. 22.
A few moments ago I said he might have the psychological advantage. Will he get a chance to prove it? That's the problem at this game. Trying to create a chance. Excellent safety from
29.
Stephen Hendry. Force the mistake. And now will Peter Ebden get another chance from this young man?
30. 36. Stephen Hendry.
So Hendry's had his first big chance. Here's Ebden's.
Playing one red onto the other. Shouldn't be a problem. Nicely on the black. It's going to be a thriller now.
Eight. 9. 16. 17.
'Played for one of the three that are clustered together, and when he pots this, it will make the
23.
other two available into the left corner. Just 13 points behind.
$24. 31.
Well, he's still 5 points in front. He knows he's just hoping for Peter Ebden to make a mistake. And to me, Peter Ebden did make a slight mistake there, but he's recovered well. This pink will take him into the lead. And then he would be looking at the 3 remaining reds, 3 blacks, and the yellow. And Stephen Hendry will need a snooker.
$38. 39.
Perfectly
45.
placed on this red, and it's important in potting this red he gets a good angle on the black for that last remaining red. It's going to be the key ball, you think, now, the last red along the top cushion. No, there's pressure on it.
53.
Well, will he take it on, or will he play the snooker? He's going for it. It's not there.
53. Peter Ebden.
Has that cost him a place in the semi-finals?
One. Eight.
Well, Stephen's having to use the rest. He's got a natural angle on this yellow. If he pots it, he should be on the green. This could be now the key shot to the match.
Eight. Stephen Hendry.
Seemed to snatch at it slightly.
Well, the pace he played it at.
Two.
He was never certain, Stephen, just having a look to see what position Peter Ebden's come on the green, and it's not that good. I think he'll take it on, though. Will he? Now is he on the ground?
Five.
14 points in front, so he needs the brown and the blue for a famous victory.
Yes, and that was pretty cool nerve to play the green pocket weight. He was almost certainly going to lose the match, and he missed it at that speed. Well, he knows he's done it. Ebden has put so much mental energy into this. Stephen Hendry made breaks of 112 and 141 in taking a 4-2 lead.
Peter Ebden.
But Peter Ebden surely now is the winner, with Hendry needing 2 snookers.
Yes, a lot of the players say they don't like all this things that Peter does when he wins, but I don't think Stephen will begrudge him this, to be perfectly honest with you. He's battled well to come back. I'm not certain Stephen will be able to keep this out of the pocket. good performance from Peter Ebden, it's got to be said. 4-2 behind.
With great nerve and resolution and skill, Peter Ebden has recovered from 2 down with 3 to play to beat Stephen Hendry by 5 frames to 4 to reach the semi-finals.
Yes, astonishing scenes here at the Wembley Conference Centre. The most outstanding match of the season by a long way, and in the end Peter Ebden has done it, and he's with us, and I think you enjoyed that.
Very much so. It was nice to get over the line. Obviously, you know, I lost to Stephen in the final, in the semi-final of the UK Championship 9-8 after being 4-0 down in a similar fashion, and it looked as if it was going that way. But I held myself together at the end and really enjoyed it. I was very confident actually at 3-1 down. I was a bit disappointed with the way I played before the interval, but very confident 3-1 down, and surprisingly enough confident at 4-2 down, because all you can do is take 1 frame at a time. And I know I'm hitting the ball well within myself, so I just thought, you know, stick in there.
Yeah. Your self-belief is obviously one of the strongest parts of your game, Peter, obviously, and you've never needed it more than you needed it in that last frame.
That's right, and I think I proved, you know, not only over the last couple of months, but since I've turned professional, that when I do come under pressure, I mean, obviously everyone's human, you can't do it all the time, but a lot of the time I do step up a gear, and I think, you know, hopefully if I continue to improve, that might be the difference between me and some other players. But certainly I'm very confident in my own ability in that respect, in the bottle and, you know, handling the pressure. And there was a lot of pressure out there tonight.
Oh, there was, man. In that last frame, you both had chances. You both appeared to have given away the initiative. Did you allow yourself to think, I've blown it at any point?
I was very, very hopeful that Stephen was going to miss the yellow with the rest. But,
which was a tough shot.
Which was a tough shot. It's probably the sort of shot that you'd expect Stephen to get. But, you know, I didn't quite come right on the black with 1 red left. And looking back on it now in hindsight, perhaps I should have stunned the red around the table and snookered Stephen behind the black. I think I would have had a 17-point lead at that stage. But having got that far, I just wanted to go for it, and I sort of built myself up to take the red on, and then, you know, I missed it by a fair way, really, to be fair.
Was the green the key ball, perhaps, that actually won it for you in the end?
Yeah, I mean, under different circumstances, I may have played safe, but I thought, you know, I've got this far now. And obviously, it was, you know, I was under a lot of pressure, and the way in which I played the shot, I knew that if I missed it, that was it. So I was very pleased to see it drop. And,
absolutely.
You know, the brown was a bit of a twitchy shot with the rest, and obviously I couldn't have come any better on the blue. So
wonderful scenes at the end. It was obvious what it meant to you. I think we can see them again. The handshake, and then what about all this? And that's like the world heavyweight title you've won.
Yeah.
What about the support you had, Peter? That obviously was a factor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I had a lot of friends and family coming. I can't believe I've just done that. But, you know, they were just appreciating the crowd there. I mean, they were just absolutely fantastic. You know, a lot of people that I've not seen for a long time, a lot of friends and family have come down, travelled a long way, you know, to be with me tonight, to be supporting me. And they were just absolutely fantastic. And, you know, it's good for snooker, it's good for TV, it's good for the sponsors when the crowd do get involved like that, because, you know, it's been shown in the last couple of matches I've had just how much tension it adds to the match and how much excitement and how much pressure. And it's just fabulous for everyone all round. And I love it when the conditions are like that. As I say, that's when I'm under pressure most, and I feel I can produce, you know, my best snooker under that sort of pressure. So, you know, I'm delighted. I wish all my matches, you know, I support like that. But,
I think you're going to have another tomorrow night with Ronnie O'Sullivan, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay. Meantime, enjoy tonight, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yes, an amazing night for Peter Ebden, but remarkably, he's still the outsider of the 4 semi-finalists. Latest odds just released. Ronnie O'Sullivan, the new favourite, at 2-1. Then John Higgins at 9-4, Jimmy White 11-4, and Peter Ebden, the outsider, as I say, of the 4 at 7-2. They can't separate White and Higgins tomorrow afternoon, both 5-6, but Ronnie O'Sullivan, favourite to beat Peter Ebden, but 2 wonderful semi-finals in prospect tomorrow. You'll be able to see the first of them, White against Higgins, on Grandstand from 12:15 tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow night, the clash of the two Londoners, Ebden against O'Sullivan. We'll bid our goodbyes from the Wembley Conference Centre on a night that Peter Ebden will never forget. Bye-bye.